What we're doing now is we're just trying to get to people's memories of Kenny K. Kenny was a DJ at WMNF from 1987 to 1991. And how did you meet? You were good friends with Kenny. How did you meet Kenny, and how did that relationship develop?
Well, it was like kind of like a guy that broke our records here. So when we first came down to this area of Florida, he was the guy that said, "Hey, look, man, I got the hip hop community on lockdown here, and this is what I'm doing. I'm doing it in a particular Northeast style, which they're not, accustomed to. I know what's going on in Miami, and at the time, it was Luke and guys like Gigolo Tony and Shy D. So it was more on the Miami-based thing. But what Kenny was doing in Tampa, he was bringing a whole New York state of mind, East Coast state of mind to Tampa, which was kind of like, okay, but he actually was a person that helped develop the other side of Florida sound that gets less acknowledged now, because when he passed on in 1991, it seemed like that particular style didn't get that total push that he was committed to. It still was around. I mean, Shock G lived here for a while, but he was also influenced from what Kenny K was able to do and just, stick to his roots of hip hop.
Now, you gave Kenny the shout on the CB4 soundtrack and everything like that. Now, what was the reaction to that? Did people say, who is this guy, Kenny?
Well, it was a force of habit that I would give as many people that contributed to hip hop and actually was able to give us props and give us a start.
Okay.
It was just a concentrated effort that I would probably give a lot of people props. So I never heard any feedback on it, because it wasn't meant to have any feedback. It was meant to be a service and give props to it. But I would get it when I came back and saw Kenny earlier, when we acknowledged him. When he passed away, it was posthumous.
Okay. Kenny, politically, some of the things he says, some of his songs and everything, like Eyes of a Child and that type of stuff, seem to run in a very public enemy, socially conscious thing. Was there any kind of relationship there that you guys talked about?
Well, we were the same age bracket, coming from the same place with the same state of mind. And once he saw it, we were kind of fearless with it. He understood that he was able to come from a similar place, and he wanted to do that movement down here.
Now, did you see something that might have been on a song that there was a plan to maybe put him on a remix or something?
No question. We wanted to work with a lot of people, and we wanted to work with people who are our favorites.
Okay.
So I think around 92, 93, there was a plan to do remixes and stuff like that.
Okay.
When I heard Kenny was sick, it was troubling for me.
Okay. Is there anything musically that you picked up from Kenny? When you talked?
Kenny was a DJ, so he knew the whole spectrum of what was going down, and it helped him be, panoramic in his selections and in his projection of what he thought hip hop should be. Okay. And so when he made his music, people might have said, well, he leaned towards some of the things that P.E. did, but our point of view was really dominant at that time, but it was overstood by those that actually knew where he was coming from and that lived it. So Kenny was one of those guys. In the state of Florida, on the west side of Florida, no less, pioneering.
Right. And I heard you played basketball with him and everything like that. Was he any good?
We played basketball a day before the show where we had to do down there all damn day. I don't even remember who did what. All damn day next to the damn Tropicana. All damn day, and then we did the show. So
okay. Because I also talked with Sean Eggers from Axiom Studios, who said you came in there. I was wondering if you might be able to talk a little bit about that experience.
I mean, you're talking.
I know it's about
25 years ago.
Right.
So, I mean, and I have a good memory. I'm sharp, but some details like coming to the studio and stuff like that might miss me.
I know, because
I used to always come to this area, and I think the first thing I always try to look up was Doc Gooden.
Okay.
And I knew Doc Gooden was from here, and Gary Sheffield. So I as a baseball fan, and then I also knew that St. Petersburg It was always where Mets had spring training.
Yep.
So that's what it meant to me back in the day.
Okay, and of course, musically it meant Kenny and his show.
I mean, yeah, the music experience didn't start until I became a professional. You would see the radio station have a playlist and songs would be, not just our songs, but songs would be on it.
Now, what do you think is the legacy of community radio? You talked about on-air radio in your speech today, and you talked about internet radio, but what is the role of community radio?
Community radio is to support the artists and also to put pressure and community radio should be able to put the pressure on conglomerate radio that claims the local signal. I think community radio needs to be fighters and be like, look, this is what we're doing with the community artists. Now you need to reflect the best of what that we have here. But then you also, in community radio, you need an administrative staff that's consistent, constant, there all the time. That's the difference in college radio. College radio has turnover. So with the turnover, there's a lot lost there. But community radio, if people are doing the right job, they could be there 30, 40 years. I think the growth of community radio is to be putting pressure on the conglomerates that want to take over the airspace. So you got to protect your turf. Right. And you got to protect your artists and say, look, you reaching like 50,000 watts and umpteen amount of people, but you're in our neighborhood and nobody here really is representing the neighborhood like we are. So our fight is to make you accountable, and we could be like a minor league system to your thing, but you got to take some leads from us.
Okay. And do you think Kenny personified?
Kenny put a lot of pressure on cats too, because he was real with it. He's like, this is what we doing here. We gonna do it better. It was a little bit of back in the day where nobody was playing hip hop or rap music, and so you wasn't really bothered by anybody. Now you have people, stations that have the audacity to say, well, we're the home of hip hop and R&B, and they happen to be not really supporting either. You know, whether they be a power or a hot. Whatever, it's just conglomerates, redefining the state of the game.